Now I know it's been a while since I've released a FPV video because I've been working on this quad. This is not a real GoPro Hero 9 as it says, but I wanted to fly with this so I could get used to the balance and the weight and how the drone reacts. So when I get an actual GoPro, and that's the first thing that I've been actually working on, I have an actual GoPro Hero 9 on it now. The second thing I've done is change the direction of the motors and the props. Now this prop used to be here and this prop used to be here. If you get your drone from Rotoride, that's the way it comes, but I swapped the props, and the reason why I swapped the props is because I swapped the direction in which each motor spins. Now the reason I did that is because I saw videos where guys talking about if you crash can be a little bit of a hassle, so I figured, hey, let me switch the motor direction, switch the props, how hard could it be, and let's see how it works. So I use two programs. This one is called BHeli. This is the first program that I use. And BHeli basically controls this board at the bottom here. That's your electronic speed control. And this BHeli tells this what direction to spin in. So I went into BHeli, connected this cable to the little port that's on the side of your drone over here, open BHeli, and I just changed the direction of all four motors to reverse. That's it. We'll see how that works in crashes, if I get a lot of debris and grass on my stack and on my camera. The third change that I made, and the biggest change that I want to share with you guys, which actually took the longest time, was, you guys know I flew with this. I love this controller. It flies really great. It's ready to bind with the air unit from DJI. This drone comes with the DJI air unit at the back, and this air unit is ready to bind and work with their controller and their goggles. If I can eliminate this and move to something smaller and portable, because these sticks also fold in, so it just tucks in nicely in the bag, then I can literally use this space for something else like a DSLR camera or something to take with me. This uses a little microchip receiver that I taped down onto here, and it has 4 wires that needed soldering. So I soldered those 4 wires, but the beauty is I did not know if I was gonna keep this for sure. So I did not remove the wires that connects this. You can add the wires that this little microchip comes with, or I should say receiver, onto the board with the old wires existing for this controller. So basically, I'm supposed to be able to use both controllers, the new one and the old one, to fly pretty much 1, 2, 3. All right, so let's take this for a spin with the new controller, see how it operates, and then I'll try to switch over. One thing definitely worth mentioning is that adding this little receiver to work with this controller not only requires soldering, but it requires an extra antenna. This controller works with its own receiver, which has its own antenna, so I did have to make some modifications at the back here, put a little adapter, mount this antenna, and connect it to the receiver for this at the back there. It's one of the things I was thinking about, hey, there's a price that I've got to pay to get this portability. It reminds me of the DJI FPV controller. 2 things worth mentioning actually. When you go into beta flight and you plug your drone into your computer, you also have to turn on and let beta flight know that you have reversed your motors. So doing it on BHeli is just not good enough. You've got to go to beta flight and let them know as well. Now, as we're here, I will come down to the bottom on the CLI tab, and over here, I will paste my settings for this controller. See, what I did was, when I got this and the drone first, when I first got it, the first thing I did is came to beta flight, and I suggest you do the same and back up all of your settings. So what happens, I have all my settings saved for this controller, and I even backed up the new settings for this controller. So now I'll go back to my settings here in the tab, I'll hit paste because I have my settings in here, and hit enter. and it's gonna load all the settings that I have for this controller onto the drone right now, because as you can see, the drone is connected via this white USB cable to the computer. It's all loaded in here. All I have to hit now is save. At the end, bada bing, bada boom. It should all be done. All right, so I'm gonna disconnect. Let's take it for a quick flight. Let's hope that it binds to the controller. I had all the settings saved as I showed you, so this shouldn't be a problem. All right, let's power on. There we go. Wow, look at that. This is nice, actually. I mean, like if I had a bigger drone, like, you know, those big, huge cinema drones that the guys fly for, you know, to do the cool FPV content and stuff with the red cameras and all that, I think I would prefer this because of the long range of motion for nice, smooth cinematics, you know, but I guess that's what I'll keep this for. And now that I have both of them wired in, it's just a matter of loading my settings and I'm able to fly with both controllers. There we go. If you're looking for something more small and compact, this is definitely a viable option. If you don't really need the space and you're not looking for something small and compact, this works perfectly. And the beauty with this is that you don't need any extra components. Definitely going to be using this to fly it with, and I have a backup controller if anything. I'm not sure why, but I do. So I hope this video was helpful. It showed you that some options can be done even by a novice or a rookie guy like me. Let me know in the comment section below if you want me to make detailed tutorials, if you're interested in doing any of these changes. With that being said, guys, make sure you hit thumbs up, give this video a huge like. Make sure you hit subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure you hit the bell so you get notified when I release new FPV videos. With that being said, I will catch you guys whenever I can. Make sure you become a Patreon, guys. Big benefits to Patreon. Get direct access to me. Any questions? I'm right here on Patreon. Support this channel and there's benefits. Last Mini 2 went all the way to the UK.